this is the part that I have been really looking forward to all day, and so has the person that I'm about to interview. It is the 10K Club student interview. Now, before I bring Taylan on, that's who it is. Let's just do a quick recap of Taylan's journey. This is something that I really encourage all of you guys to do. This is exactly what I did when I started my Amazon FBA journey. And here's Taylan's story. So you can see in May of last year, Taylan did an awesome post basically saying he's really excited and just posting some of his goals. And that was May 2020, day 0, day 1 when he started. And in March 2021, after a number of bumps in the road, but certainly a ton of achievements and progress being made, he smashed through the 10K barrier, and he was only selling for around 30 days, so just under a month. So we are going to be running through his amazing story here. I'm going to be asking him questions, and then you guys are going to ask any of the questions that you want. It's no holds barred. Sorry, Taylan, but yeah, anything to do with Amazon FBA, etc., you guys are more than welcome to ask. And this is just something else that I wanted to show off about Taylan. So he did that. He smashed through the 10K barrier in under a month, March 2021. And then look at this. So this is April. This is latest state of play. And the thing that makes this even more amazing is he has virtually turned off his pay-per-click advertising. So those sales in April are done with £5 pay-per-click advertising budget per day. And we can come into that. Taylan can discuss why he's basically turned his PPC off. But those sales that he's making at the moment are incredibly profitable. He's absolutely loving it. And he's got another order on the way. And then here you can see him grinning like a little Cheshire cat with his 10K award. And that is something that you guys are all more than capable of getting as well. So let's bring him on. So here is the man himself. So Taylan, welcome to the Smash Sessions. I know ever since I started doing these, you were like, Jansen, I'm getting on this. And you said, absolutely, there's nothing going to stop me. I'm getting that 10K Club award. So I think it's, firstly, well done. It's awesome that you have stuck to your goals and you've achieved it. How does it feel, or how did it feel to break through that 10K barrier?
I was elated. I remember I had a few drinks that night as well, so I was kind of, yeah, it felt even sweeter. So yeah, it was good. I mean, it's been a long journey, but yeah, a fun, challenging one at times. But yeah, it's definitely been rewarding. So I'm happy, really.
Absolutely. Happy. So we'll comment to that because I want to, before we kind of skip to these awesome achievements you've made and the journey that you've been on, let's kind of go back to the beginning and we'll learn a bit more about you, because I said this to Dami last time. It's one of those things where I talk to you guys near enough every day, more than my real life friends in some cases. And I don't actually really know that much about you. Outside of the Amazon FBA world, there's not really a huge amount that I know. Yeah. Like I know, brief bits, but let's learn more about you, mate. So what's your story? Who are you, and how did you get here?
All right, so let's go back a year, and I'd say just before COVID happened. I'd say 2019, back into 2019, I was always curious about sort of online business and wanted to start my own thing, but never really pulled the plug. I was quite sort of, I'd say I had a steady income stream. I made decent money, and I was in my own little comfort zone. So nothing really made me get off my arse and start my own business until COVID literally happened a few months after that. And then I was put on furlough, and then I was in the hospitality industry, which was hit really bad.
Yeah.
And I got put on furlough. Then there were whispers going around saying, right, redundancy, and that just kind of made me shit myself a little. So it was that kind of was like the time where I said to myself, right, I need to kind of take control of the situation.
Yeah.
And I did. So I started watching webinars and started YouTubing, and like how most people started, just reading up on forums, watching videos. And I mean, not to blow smoke up your ass, but I found you and I thought, okay, fine, this guy's genuine, he's legit. And I went with you, and no regrets since. So that was around again in the end.
Was it just anything money making you were looking to do? Like, do you kind of feel that it was the entrepreneur and you trying to escape, and you know what, anything, or
good question. I mean, so for me, so this is what we're going to come on to later, but I already had like a brand in mind to kind of launch. So, so Amazon was the perfect vehicle for that. So
Yeah.
like, luckily it just coincided together. So I think, you know, Shopify was always an option, but I wasn't sort of hearing that many positive things about it. But Amazon, because I knew Amazon was a brand. I knew Amazon, you know, I probably shopped on Amazon the day I, you know, decided to take the plunge and go and buy a course for it. So like, it was just, it's one of those brands that are legit and people know about it. And it just made sense for me to start my business there. So yeah, as we'll discuss, I guess, further into the interview, I had an idea, a concept, which I kind of wanted to implement. And luckily I was able to kind of, you know, start it and fulfill that. So yeah, it was
Okay,
always going to be Amazon. Yeah.
So the brand that you actually went with, you had that in mind beforehand?
Yeah, I did. I mean,
Oh, that's great.
not to that extent. But yeah, I had like an idea. And luckily, like, Amazon showed there was demand for that product. So yeah, it was luckily for me, it worked.
Awesome. That's great. So, okay, well, let's kind of run through the timeline then, because I suppose you're probably quite unique there in the sense that you had an idea that you were actually able to leverage off.
Yeah.
But you probably you did product research anyway, right? Because I'm sure I
Yeah.
remember
We did. So
tons of mails.
so when I started, yeah, I had that idea, but I also had sort of other ideas I wanted to implement. And so my product research was quite sort of unique and different. Like, as soon as I started, I was essentially looking at magazines, catalogs, and things of that nature, things outside of the Helium-10 Jungle Scout world.
Yeah.
And then I thought to myself, okay, fine. I really wanted to execute what I had already planned to sort of bring onto Amazon. So I thought, but the only issue was the niche was so saturated. So it was really difficult for me to kind of, you know, make, like, you know, put my own sort of twist or mark onto it. And so I came up with the idea of actually redesigning what was already selling really well. So I thought, let me just think outside the box even further. So I bought so many of my competitors' products. I bought about 5 or 6,
And they're all rubbish.
And they're all just garbage. And this is what, you know, I kind of want to like hammer home to people. Like, the market in China is just, yeah, it's crazy. I mean, they do produce great products, but the ones I received are really bad. And the best part is they were all 5-star products as well. So I'm thinking to myself, if they're selling this garbage, like, can you imagine what would happen if you actually refined that and made, you know, an amazing product and whatever. So that happened. So I bought loads of my competitors. I thought to myself, right, so how can I make this a lot better? And it was, yeah, I mean, I guess I thought to myself at the time when I had those products in front of me, I'm thinking, how has nobody done this before? The idea I had in my mind, how has nobody done this before with these products? And then eventually, yeah, I reached out to suppliers and said, look, can you do this to that? Can you do this to this and whatever, and make it? Like, I initially had some CAD drawings done, made up on Fiverr and Upwork. I can't remember.
Did you get that done for a good price?
Really good price, actually, about £20 to £30. So,
really? Awesome.
So yeah, it was a decent price. I mean, I lived on Fiverr for like that month, literally everything, patent searches. So, and then, so that's when the challenges started to happen thick and fast. Like, it was a no from every factory. Like, every day I was like, no. Like,
and what was the no reason for? Was it your minimum quantity?
I almost thought like they took offense. Like, it's really weird. Like, I almost felt like if I didn't buy what they were selling, like initially that was advertised, it was kind of offensive to them. So they were quite rude about it in a really weird way. They were like, no one's gonna make this for you. Like, bye, friend. Like, no friend. And it's like, and then like towards the end, I think this was June time, and towards the end of June, I was on the verge of sacking this whole idea off. I was like, right, okay, fine, this is not going to happen to me. I need to go back to the drawing board, start again. And then, yeah, that moment happened the day I decided to quit. I got a message from a supplier saying, oh, hi, I would love to work with you closely on this, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, we don't have the resources yet, but we can get them for you and all the materials. And that kind of, that was massive for me. That just changed my mindset completely. And I just thought, you know, head down and crack on from there. So definitely faced a lot of challenges on the initial sort of stages. Overcame them. I mean, that's what we do as entrepreneurs. We like to say. So yeah, it was really close to. I was really close to giving up on that sort of dream.
I mean, just from the interaction that we've had, I know that you've had a lot of challenges and setbacks. But I think, again, I say this every time I get someone onto these Smasher sessions. The reason that you've achieved success is because you've just got so much resilience, and you're just like, I'm not giving up. I'm not quitting this race just because of this and that. And you've always found a solution, which is great, because it shows that there always is, a way out, a way to progress. So, okay, that's really interesting. So the supplier that you found then, that was able to do these amendments for you, do you think that was that just kind of chance, or was it just down to the fact that you'd said, do you know what, I'm willing to pay a bit more, or what was the process to help the guys that watching that might want to do something similar?
Yeah, so for me, it was, to be honest, I didn't know what I was doing. I was just saying, can you make this for me? But I didn't have a set sort of plan and the questions to ask. I was like, I want this made. How much would it cost? And so I kind of worked backwards, because I didn't actually get quoted until the very end. So it was quite a risky move, because it could have turned out unprofitable. It's risky in the sense that it wasn't conventional in the sense that I could go to this supplier, and get samples. Like, no, I had you. If you fail, I fail. So all my eggs were in one basket. So yeah, it was a bit of a challenge. It was a bit risky doing it that way, but yeah, I was just blown away when they did eventually send me the sample, because when I opened it, it was just, they went above and beyond what I expected. So
yeah, and I think that's probably one of the reasons that you've also achieved a lot of success. But we'll come into that. I kind of want to, do it step by step. But that's something that's definitely reflected in how you got to this 10K level. So before we kind of progress into that, when you found this product and you got that sample through, did you have any slight reservations, or were you like, do you know what, this is a perfect product, Tay boy, you've smashed it, 10 out of 10, or what was your thought process there?
There was always something in the back of my mind, because I'd say in my niche it was very saturated, and I'll come onto this later on. But there were new competitors coming in literally on a daily, weekly basis. So for me, it was nerve-wracking, because I thought, okay, fine, like, where's this going to leave me? I know a lot of people, including yourself, would preach, not you, but a lot of people, and that's the common sort of theme you see on Amazon, is don't launch in a saturated niche that you see new competitors flooding in every day. That was happening to me, and I was like, but then the other part of my mind was like, well, look, no one's doing what I'm doing, so you're gonna end up winning. So for me, it was difficult trying to kind of stay, like, I was optimistic, but there was always that devil in the back of my mind saying, right, you're gonna fail. And but yeah, it worked out for the best, I guess.
No, I'm glad you've said that, and because one of the reasons that I kind of was asking it is to kind of just say that, whether it be you that's absolutely smashed it, whether it be me, whether it be Simon, whoever, like, you're always going to have some sort of doubt in the back of your mind, like saying, no, you can't do this, or have you thought about this or that? And you kind of just have to put those thoughts at bay and just accept that you're never going to find a perfect product that just is 10 out of 10. There's literally no product that is perfect. Like, the iPhone that is the #1 selling phone in the world, or #2. Is it perfect? No, it isn't. I'd scream at it daily because it does things I don't want it to do. But the point is, it still fulfills its main, thing that it strives to do. And I'm still really happy with it overall, etc. So yeah, that's kind of, I think it is good, the answer you've given there, because I think that's probably how a lot of people feel, and sometimes they probably think, no, I'm not going to do it because of this and that. Okay, cool. So let's talk a bit about your supplier, because I know you've got quite a special relationship.
Are we going to get into this now?
Well, I think we can do it step by step. So, so first of all, you said that your supplier initially said, yes, we can do this modification. And one of the questions that's just come through on the side, actually, which we can bring in now, is from Andrea. So I'll pop it on the screen. And it's, like, what did the supplier want? Or were they just like, you need to, what did they say? You need to order a minimum 5,000 units, or you need to pay extra?
Yeah, so this was really weird for me, because there were some suppliers that said yes initially, and then they kind of backed out because I didn't order 20,000 or something ridiculous. And with this particular one, they were quite excited with the fact that this was new and this could potentially kind of change the game in a niche. So they were really like they kind of anticipated that it would sell as much as I expected it to. So they knew they were going to get repeat business and more orders from me. So I think for that reason they were quite lenient with my first order. So I only ordered 750, I think. So they were nice about it. They didn't really care. And I didn't have to order a ridiculous amount. So but yeah, the scary part, like I mentioned before, was the price. So I had a rough idea as to what it would be, but it was always going to be a moving sort of number. And thankfully it turned out to be a profitable number.
I think it's fantastic that the supplier showed so much confidence in you and was basically probably saw big things. And I have that with one of my suppliers. They've said to me before, we're only giving this product to you and a couple of other sellers because we see a lot of potential in your brand and what you can do on Amazon. And I think that's probably exactly what your supplier thought. He thought, do you know what? This guy isn't like probably the tens of other people that messages on a daily basis just going, how much is it? Can I just ship it as is and just whack it on Amazon? They probably saw, got excited about your vision, your branding, the change that you wanted to make, and thought, actually, if we work with this guy, we can do a lot here. So,
and I was going to just add on to what you said there. It was important for me to also get an NDA signed, a non-disclosure agreement.
Did you? Is that what you did?
Yeah, I did that as well, just in case, just to protect my concepts really. And they were fine about it as well. And I think I encourage everyone that's doing something similar to me, that they're designing their own thing, to do that. So just in case, just for another layer of protection.
And did you write that yourself, or how did you do that?
Again, living on Fiverr.
No, Fiverr. Nice.
I found someone to draft one up for me relatively cheaply. And he was a lawyer as well, and he was just doing a bit of freelance work on Fiverr. I encourage people to always go that step further in terms of protecting your concept.
For sure. Okay, so this is coming, Taylan. So for the benefit of the group, Taylan is a very active poster in the Smashers Academy Mastermind group, which is great. And he made a post back in October, which has gone down as one of those posts that's like Hall of Fame. Viral. So I'm going to flash it on the screen now for you guys. So it's this one here. So he made a post and he says, goes to show how far rapport and building relationships can go. 2 weeks ago, he's battling costs with his supplier. And, long story short, he sent these bad boys. So flowers, Ferrero Rocher, lovely little card. Was the card handwritten, or was that from the florist?
No, that was I wouldn't handwrite that. That was that was from the company. No, that was
So, but anyway, like we in the group, it's kind of a bit of an inside joke now, saying that Taylan has booked spa weekends and proposed in order to get a little 5-cent discount. But all jokes aside, this was such a smart move. And do you want to tell the guys kind of what happened after you did this? What was the reaction?
So it did actually come from a place of like gratitude, like in all honesty, with like an ulterior motive, which was to bring my price down slightly, because I was in the process of negotiating the final cost, and I think I was like 15-20 cents higher than I wanted it to be, and I was like, it was a petty 20 cents, but it was 20 cents that could sort of make a huge difference.
Yeah, it does.
And it felt unnecessary, and I was like, why are you adding this for? This is ridiculous. So I was like, and at this point we had a solid relationship, and we were just going back and forth, and I was like, you know what, I need to kind of do something here. So I thought, let me send a thank you card and gifts for all the hard work they did, because they genuinely they literally, I wasn't expecting anything near the level they sort of produced for me. They bent over backwards on a number of occasions. So I wanted to sort of, extend my gratitude further, as opposed to just saying thank you on Alibaba. So I took the plunge. I went on some sort of gift website from China.
Was it in China?
It was in China, but they had some sort of, I translated it, and it did. Yeah, it cost me what, $60-$70. It wasn't, in the grand scheme of things, it's not a lot of money. So, got that. Didn't say anything about negotiation or the price. Waited for them to receive it. I got a message one morning saying, "What is this?" Like, she sent me pictures and like so many messages saying, "Thank you so much. Everyone loves this. Like, this is amazing." And I got a message, like a personalized message from the owner, which is her father.
Oh, really?
So and then I was like, "Yeah, cool. So can we talk about this price now?" and then oh, she's like, "Oh, go on then. Like, let's take it off. It's fine."
Yeah,
so
mate, fair play.
It did come from a place of gratitude, but yeah, it worked out for the best.
But you're also happy to take the little benefit that it provided. I think I genuinely think that is absolute genius, and I would put it in, you know, the course as something to do. One other thing actually that I saw in another group for you guys watching, and for you, Taylor, I should probably less so for you, but if you're getting your product delivered to your house and then sending it onto Amazon, like in a small amount, and I think actually Chris did this. Is just put in a handwritten note, or you know, however many you can write, saying, "Hello, my name is so and so. Thank you so much for supporting me and my business, etc. Please leave a review." And I guarantee you that as soon as customers see that it's handwritten, that you're a UK business, etc., they will be dying to give you a 5-star review. So it's all these like little tiny tricks, but genuinely, Taylor, I think the you know, as much as we do take the piss out of you for now sending you Supplier on weekends away and stuff, like it comes from a good place. That was a very, very clever move. So well done there. And do you think it's stood you in good stead, like moving forwards? Because obviously you're with the same supplier now.
100%. I mean, you've got to think with my case, it's quite unique in the sense that I don't have another supplier to go to if this fails. Like, I have to make sure I'm relatively sweet with this particular supplier. So I thought, just to ensure that relationship is solid. I'm always like, it's weird now. It's like we're almost mates. Like, we talk as if we're mates now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like every day I get a message saying, "Oh, I've just finished this studying," whatever she's doing that day, and it's like, "Oh, FYI, we've dispatched this for you, or we've done this part of the box design, whatever." Like, but it's gotten to a position now where it's not a transactional thing. It's genuine, sort of. It's a decent relationship, which is what I kind of wanted. So
definitely, and that's I've got the exact same separate suppliers. One of them is very, you know, like sends me the message and that's all we kind of say, and the other one is, you know, we have full on chat. We talk about everything really, and I have such a good relationship with them that they give me really good pricing and all sorts. So yeah, definitely that's the secret if you can do that. So definitely. What about one other thing that I know that you tried really hard on was like your unboxing experience, the packaging, the design, etc. So let's talk a bit about that, like how much money you invested in it, how you went about it, and all that good stuff.
So like with the boxing, I knew that I wanted to go really big on that, and I really wanted to go big on the brand, which I encourage everyone to do. Don't skimp on the box art. Don't skimp on the customer experience. That's fundamental, and that's played a huge part. Like in my reviews, you'll see in my reviews that people more often than not will comment on the boxing as well as the product. And I guess I kind of took inspiration from like the Apples of the world and just simplistic but yet classy and chic. And that kind of worked really well for my brand. I paid a bit extra. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it did, you know, for a box, I think it is a bit of money, but that didn't really faze me. Like, I knew as soon as I added that to my product and my offering, the value and the perceived value just goes up. So I could charge a bit more, which I've done, and it worked. So I encourage everyone, don't skimp on the boxing, don't skimp on the customer experience in general. So that's really helped me.
Awesome. So, and then in terms of the branding itself, I know you put a lot of effort and thought into it. Have you thought about, like, before you started selling, were you doing much work when it came to like your Instagram, social media? Was there anything that you did there that you can kind of share?
I answered the question, I think, on our group just prior to this. And short answer is yeah. I mean, I started an Instagram, and then I got a few photo shoots made up. So luckily I had a few units with me prior to launching. And I hired, I can't remember what website I used. I'll probably put it on group soon. But I use the website to basically hire a freelance photographer and then my friend modeled the product for me. So I got a big photo shoot done with that, which I use as content for Instagram. And then I hired a marketing professional from Upwork to kind of post all the content and, you know, do all the captions and just make it look quite sexy and nice, basically. So she's running that page for me now. She's only, what, £50 a month. And yeah, she makes 12 to 24 posts, I guess. And she engages as well with like followers and potential followers, whatever. So I think that's been really big for me. Like just before launching, I had a captivated audience and they were quite engaged with the brand and what I was doing. So that's definitely helped 100%. And that's something I'm going to continue to do just to ensure my following goes up and for when I launch new products and stuff. So yeah, it's definitely helped. And I encourage other people to you know, use other social channels.
Having seen your Instagram and the product itself, I think it comes across so professional and streamlined, and yeah, it's great. Actually, I didn't tell you yesterday. My partner and I went to the park, and she said, "Why don't you bring Thailand's product to use?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, go and get it." So there you go, actually using it. So let's talk about D-Day or S-Day, first day of sales. Like, what was going through your mind? What happened basically? How did it feel to start selling?
All right, so this is a funny story for me, I guess. I mean, and for you really. Like, I remember launching, and I was like, it was underwhelming because I was really arrogant launching. Like, I was really naive and arrogant. So I thought, let me just put the price up high. You know, no one can compete with me. No one's got a better product than me. And I was really taken back by what happened after that. So I got literally one sale my first day, and I spent about £30-40 on PPC, and I was like crying to you. I remember I was like, Jansen, I failed, I messed up. Like, what have I done? And I said,
you haven't followed the Jansen Smith launch strategy.
Yeah, and then I remember you responding saying, Tay, I'm gonna have a look for you. And then you came back and said, Tay, why is your price like 10 quid more expensive than all your competitors? I was like, oh. And then I remember like reducing it back down by £10 or 30%. And then literally what came afterwards was like, it was just pure elation, I guess. Like, I was getting 15-20 sales a day without fail. And I got Amazon's Choice badge and some other badges, and yeah, first page, organic.
Yeah, I was going to say you ranked so highly, like really early on, and I was like, "What? That's like, how many searches per month is it? Like 10,000 or something?"
It was 10,000 for my main keyword, and there are other keywords that are ridiculously high as well. So, I wasn't expecting that at all. This was after the first day of launching. I was just really underwhelmed, but afterwards it was just I was selling too much. I was like, I need to slow down, like, because I wasn't going to have enough for until my next inventory came. But yeah, it was an amazing week. I remember just like but I had that syndrome on my phone, just like refreshing, and that stayed with me for a few weeks. But I've calmed down now. So it was a great week. It was a great week. I remember that.
Okay, so what about the how have customers reacted? Did they react the way you wanted them to? Like, you know, what do real life people think to this product that you've developed yourself?
I mean, yeah, it was really important, obviously, to get those initial reviews from friends and family, and you know, they loved it. But in terms of like the wider demographic, just the public buying it, it went down, I guess, really well. And I did get, I guess, about 10 like inorganic, organic proper reviews from people. And a lot of people went out of their way to give me photo reviews, video reviews, and I was like, wow, I can't believe people actually love this thing. And yeah, I guess I was just taken back by that a lot. And then obviously with the good comes the bad. I got 1 3-star review from someone, and that really
absolutely raging.
I was just like, yeah, you don't know what you're talking about, mate. And yeah, it is what it is. And like you said, no product's perfect. And not everyone's going to perceive your product the way.
You can't please everyone. It just, you know, I said this with Dammy. I say this with everyone that sells. When you get that first 1-star, 2-star, 3-star, even George, it happened with George. You take it so personally. I know you've said this to me. You're like, I just don't like any of these people that do it. But I kind of think it makes it a bit more authentic. Like, as I said earlier, there's no such thing as a perfect product. I think maybe some customers would log on, and if they saw pure 5 stars, they would just be like, are these reviews real?
Skeptical, very skeptical, yeah.
So yeah, let's talk about what happened then when you got that 3-star. Apart from the fact that you messaged me and you went, Jansen, you were screaming.
I hate people.
I hate these people.
I just, actually, no, you know what? And I didn't plan to say this, but this is quite important. Leading off that actually made me improve the product. So I've actually made an improvement on the product from that review. So I guess you can always flip those reviews on its head and use that to your advantage, which is what I've done. So that particular review, that he actually gave me really constructive feedback. So he was actually quite positive in the first part, and he was But then I would change this, and this, and I thought to myself, I used my products again. I spoke to some friends and family, and they were like, actually, yeah, this could work. So for my next batch, I've actually made an improvement. So it kind of worked out for the best. But yeah, it was annoying to see. So yeah, what annoys me even more though is I think a lot of people posters in the group is when they leave you feedback, 5-star. I've got about 10 5-star feedback. I'm like, can you just leave that in the reviews, please? Like, what are you doing? I don't want to see that.
Yeah, I saw that earlier.
Yeah, but no.
So what about you made a really good post actually. This is another thing that I think is great about the group itself. Posting tips and stuff that you've learned. So you found a way to kind of combat bad reviews before you get them.
Yeah, I mean it just goes without saying that customer service should be at the forefront of any like business. That should always be the priority, and you've hammered that home in the course. And yeah, I made sure that mine was like top notch. So every time I see seller support give me a refund or whatever reason, I don't actually care what the reason's for. I don't care if it came damaged or it was fine and they were just being difficult about it. I always offer them a free product. I'm like, all right, whatever it is, would you like a free product? Yeah. And I don't care if it costs me a few £100, in the long run. I don't care, because in the long run, that would pay me dividends. Like it would benefit me, which it has. Like I'd say I have over the past 3-4 weeks, I've had about 6-7 situations where they've asked for a refund and I've refunded them and I've given them a free product and I've got a 5-star review in it. So it's like it's gone from 1 star to 5-star. So I really I encourage people, as soon as they see that, they definitely act fast. And I don't spend time finding out the reason, because I don't want them to deal with any sort of admin to make them sort of post pictures to me and send me pictures and give me a reason. Like that's just not, that defeats the whole purpose of it, and it's just not part of the customer experience that I want. So if they have any issues, I give them a free product.
And you've even found in some of these cases they've said there's nothing wrong with the product, I just didn't kind of think it was right for me or whatever, and that's fine. That happens, right? It's retail.
Yeah. And that's fair enough. So it's worked out for the best, and I've just essentially got more 5 stars than I initially would have done. So
I mean, I was looking at your 5 stars earlier, and I'm insanely jealous. You've got a 5-star overall rating, and are you on like 60 odd reviews now?
57 or 8.
Yeah, I'm not counting or anything, but I think I've got like 56 on.
But yeah, it's something I keep a close eye on as well, just to
for sure. I check it every day of that fair. And what kind of methods are you following to get those reviews? Because 60 in a month or just over a month is fantastic.
So what you suggest in the course, really, it's the insert cards really help. I've made it quite personable, and just I use feedback quiz, not the Helium 10's review thing. So I don't know if this makes any difference, but I always make my signature. I use my logo, my signature, which again just enhances the brand, reinforces the brand, and I think it just makes me look more of a professional outfit. So all of that sort of married up together, is a good sort of recipe to
awesome. Putting them from all angles. And Thailand, what's your lady name?
My lady, Alexia.
Alexia.
You know what? I actually did some research into this, and I can't remember what website I used, but I searched up what names get I think feedback or I can't remember what it was. There's an article on Google of names that get traction. Yeah, there is. And I looked at this like 2 months ago, and yeah, Alexia was up there. And I was like, okay, fine, I'll use Alexia, but it's definitely worth looking at that. So I guess there's a bit of a science to it as well. So
that's awesome. Alexia, yeah.
Alexia, yeah. Don't know why, but yeah.
I might have to change mine. I use my fiance's name, and I've got like different personas. Like when I'm replying, sometimes I go to write Jansen. I'm like, oh no, I'm Steph now, and change it. So for those guys that are kind of wondering what on earth Taylor and I are talking about, basically when you're requesting emails or just on insert cards, one of the things that I teach in the course is I say sign it off with a female name, and as Taylor has just said, we don't know why, but the feedback response that you get seems to be a lot higher than if you just use, like a male name or whatnot. Who knows why? But Taylor in his spare time is Alexia, and I'm Steph. So, okay, so let's talk before we go up to the floor. I'm sure you guys have got tons of questions. What would you say? What's been like the highlight so far? Your best moment?
I'd say it's that liberating feel of designing your own thing and people buying it, and over a really saturated, like over products in a really saturated niche. I think that's been like, yeah, that's been one of my highlights. The fact that I've made my own thing and people love it and are receptive to it. That's been amazing. I remember opening the sample and just seeing, I was just overwhelmed because it was better than I expected. And that was the beauty of building that relationship with the supplier, because they actually made some suggestions when I was sort of designing it, and they said, well, let's do this to it and that to it. And yeah, they just went above and beyond. And when I saw the sample, I thought, this is a winner for me. I can't wait to launch it. And that has been the highlight, I guess. It's just knowing that people are buying, your invention, your creation, really. So
yeah, absolutely.
That's been amazing. Yeah.
And there's no better feeling, is there? I mean, and you just missed Christmas, but when you get to Christmas next year, and Christmas Day will never be the same, because you'll think there's so many people around the country, maybe even the world, opening my present, my creation, and they're like, "Thank you, Mom. Thank you, Dad. Thank you, Auntie, whatever." But you're giving that satisfaction to somebody, and this is what I said before. I actually think that's actually more rewarding than the monetary aspect, knowing that somebody is opening it. And as I said with your product, it was so professional. I actually think that's also very rewarding to hear as well. When I sent my products to my friends for the first time, and they were like, "You made this? This is like something you'd see in the shops. Like, looks like a real life product." Again, I think that is, it's so incredibly rewarding, and you've absolutely smashed that as well, the branding and all that good stuff. Now, before we do open up to the floor, let's just talk about, like challenges, just to kind of show that the people watching this that might be facing issues, like, it's normal. We all face challenges in life, in business. Amazon FBA is no exception. So, Taylor, what's been like a real challenging moment for you?
I guess, so going back, I think this goes, I mentioned it briefly, going back to when I first started, designing the concept and reaching out to manufacturers and suppliers. It's having that tenacity to just keep going, because I almost gave up, and I had 27, I counted 20, was it 6 or 7 factories literally say no to me. And that was a bitter pill to swallow, because for a whole month I was very, I know you say don't get too emotional with the concept and the brand and whatever, but I was too far gone. Like, I had to do this. So yeah, it was hard, like, kind of hearing that it wasn't going to be made and whatever. So that was a really, really big challenge for me. Like, I was almost, close to quitting that concept altogether and starting something new. So to overcome that was huge. And I guess, I think we're all going through this challenge at the minute, and that's just ridiculous shipping costs, and
that's a good point.
Sort of alternative way to obviously get your products over. For me, like, the challenge is accepting that and realizing there's a longer term sort of goal here. So yes, I'm going to be as I'm going to be a bit unprofitable for now, but over time, I will. Well, I'll take that back. I'm still profitable, but I don't want to be. I'm not where I want to be yet.
You want to be more profitable, yeah.
Are you at your now? Obviously,
are you at your target price now? Because you've increased it a lot, haven't you?
I've increased it a lot. I'm toying with the idea of potentially increasing it a bit further, but let's
try it. You never know.
Let's try and see what happens. But yeah, going back to what I said, realizing there's a long-term goal here. So I can only imagine in a few months' time after summer, shipping prices will go back down. So yeah, I mean, I've used this time to obviously reflect on the product. My reviews are stacking up. So hopefully by then I'll have a brand that's made its mark in the niche. I think it already has. And yeah, that's been a huge challenge, like overcoming that aspect of it. But yeah, there's going to be a light at the end of the tunnel with that. So yeah, I mean, there have been numerous challenges, but those are the two that kind of stick out for me.
Yeah, and I think as you've mentioned, as I mentioned a few times as well, it's the tenacity, the resilience of just not giving up and always looking to overcome these challenges. And I think you definitely have made a mark in your niche, because loads of your reviews, I was looking through them, say there's nothing else like this. The quality is supreme, blah, blah, blah. I do think, because I saw you had increased the price quite substantially, and you're doing that with £5 budget a day on advertising, which is really good. So you know, making a decent amount.
And one thing I'll say, another challenge I had, and this is something that's quite important for I think the whole group to hear as well, the new people that are in sort of product research phases, is you've got to always use your own perspective and use your own initiative, intuition, creativity, because a lot of the numbers that you'd sort of deem acceptable in terms of launching a product, they were all against me. Like reviews against me, like barrier to entry against me, like the weight, the size, whatever, everything was against me. But when you visualize a concept and you want to execute it, and you know there's a huge gap in the market for it, the numbers almost become irrelevant. Like it became irrelevant to me. Yeah. It still does to this day. Like I see competitors coming in every single day. I'm not fazed by it. I don't care. Like I focus on my product. I stay in my lane. I focus on enhancing my offering. And that was huge for me to that was a huge obstacle for me to sort of get over at the beginning, because I was, in the unknown. I didn't know what was going to happen. And so that I really encourage people just to kind of, I think data has a ceiling, Helium-10 has a ceiling. Like when you go above and beyond that and stamp your own authority and like use your own creativity, that will just take you to the next step, I guess. And I'm so thankful and happy that I did, and I wasn't fazed by the numbers. So.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's probably one of the most frequent questions I get, which is, Jansen, I found this niche, but there's more than 5 new sellers in the last 6 months, and they've got more than 200 reviews. Like, should I just stay away? And I'm like, you kind of have to. You can take that into account, but you need to think much bigger picture. Am I offering something new, something different, etc.? Because if you are, realistically, a customer's not going to care. Like, if another seller's got 500 reviews, like if your product is better, it's more versatile, whatever, they're going to choose you, right? So thank you for answering my questions, Taylor. And guys, if you guys watching, if you've got any questions at all, something that maybe Taylor said that you want to know in a bit more detail, something that I haven't asked at all, then put them down in the comment box. And I'm going to just kind of have a look now at what you guys have already been asking. So the first one, we kind of touched a bit on this, is from Martha. Are you looking for your own patent to get protection?
Good question. So funny you should ask that now. So I'm actually in the process now of getting the ball rolling with that. I think it's the preliminary stage at the minute. So I'll know more in the next 2-3 weeks if I can get it done, but it's looking likely. So that's the thing with my product. It was really sketchy because I kind of designed it around patents. So for me to now get my own patent for this, it will be quite interesting. But the guy I'm speaking to, he reckons it can be done. So short answer is yes. Long answer is let's see.
And is this Fiverr guy?
Yeah, he's a recommended
Fiverr.
It was. He's on the recommended list, by the way, for those that are
awesome
looking for patents. So yeah, have a. If you are looking to get a patent done, just speak to him.
Awesome. Okay, so the next one is from Mr. or Mrs. Facebook user. Did you find once you found the supplier making something completely new, a straightforward process, or did you find it tough to get to that finished product with your own unique parts? So
Yeah,
I guess, yeah, what's kind of the process? You got that CAD design made.
yeah.
What kind of...
First and foremost, nothing is straightforward with this. Nothing is straightforward about with what I did, but yeah, let's start off with that. So I knew that I had to kind of obviously give them something to work off. So Fiverr, CAD designs made up, got a few drawings and sketches made up, with a lot of annotations, the materials I wanted to use, but then that all changed. I used my supplier for their feedback, and they kind of said, well, no, let's use this instead, and they just tried to modify it and make it better. So start with the drawings, and then so for me, it was a long-winded process, but I made all the suppliers I reached out to sign NDAs. So
Nice.
because I had to, like, if I see now that someone's launched it and it just looks sketchy, I'll know I can go after them. So that was a long-winded process, but it was definitely worth it. So made them sign an NDA to protect it. That can easily be done through Fiverr. Got the CAD drawing made up, reached out to suppliers, and some will say yes, some will say no, and you go from there.
Awesome. That's really helpful to know, actually. Okay, so Dom is asking, how many units did you order on your first order? I think you may have referenced this.
Yeah. So 750 was my first order. That was.
And you just placed your second, have you?
Yeah. So a few weeks ago, I placed. It's nearly done. I think it's going to be shipped very soon. So my second's for 1,000, and I've learned from experience now to I know it's cash intensive, but it's worth it. Like, I'm going to order my next batch as soon as it arrives, because I just don't want to be out of stock. I want to stay sort of consistent. So yeah, I've ordered 1,000 now, so that should be here next month.
Yeah, awesome. And I'm sure you're going to be like everyone else with sea shipping, just waiting for it to arrive day by day, tracking it, and just hope that another Suez Canal blockage doesn't happen. Which you managed to escape. Kieran has said, did you base CAD drawings on a competitor's product and then modify it to your own spec?
Yeah, essentially, yeah. There's no other way of answering that. I mean, yeah, I did. Mine's basically a hybrid of two very well selling products. So I got both of them in front of me, and then sent the listings to the designer or the person who's drawing up my CAD drawings, and he just made up for me and annotated everything how I wanted it to. So it was that was a really straightforward process for me. I don't have sort of a background in designing and engineering, all that stuff, so they kind of suggested what would be the best materials to use, and sizes, measurements, all that stuff, and yeah, it worked out for the best.
Okay, Martha's asking, are you reinvesting all the revenue into inventory or taking money out for yourself, or what's the approach?
I like this question because I was thinking about it the other day, actually. I took my family out for dinner, and that was on my company card. And
Hola.
I'm at a stage now, like, where I'm making profit. So
yeah,
like, I can, if I wanted, I wouldn't do this because it's not that much yet, but I could live off my FBA. I could, but I'm not, because I'm nowhere near where I want to be yet. But I would always recommend just reinvesting that back into the business. Like, always. It feels good, like, knowing you can actually use that money and spend it on whatever you want, but it's going to pay you in the long run to reinvest that back into the business. It's not just in terms of the units, but just other aspects. Like, I don't bat an eye at paying for Instagram. I don't bat an eye at paying for what's the term, infographics, like Havana Studio, all that. Like, when it's got to do with my business, I don't mind paying that bit extra to ensure that everything is amazing. I'm not going to cut corners. I don't want to cut corners. I don't advise people to cut corners. Like, if something does cost that bit extra, you're probably going to get a better job done for that money.
Definitely, and it'll pay for itself one day.
Yeah, 100%. So yeah, in some cases you will find good deals, and you'll get good value for sort of cheaper services, but always reinvest.
Yeah, I
Reinvest
agree.
in the
I
business.
think it's just like the snowball effect, isn't it? Like you
Yeah.
get your profit, you reinvest, you can afford bigger, more higher amounts of units, custom products, etc. In fact, what I kind of did to kind of help the anxiety a bit was I took out my initial investment, like I think after about a year. So now I'm like, this is brilliant because I'm basically running my business from its own profits, which I'm now reinvesting in stuff. But that would be my strategy as well. If you want to grow as quickly as possible, then I'd be reinvesting. And all the big companies do that. You've got Uber, Snapchat, Deliveroo. None of those guys make a profit because they're just reinvesting everything into like marketing. And I'm not saying that you guys have to do that, but I'm just saying that's a well-known approach to business, to just keep reinvesting in order to scale. And this is my favorite question that we've had the entire evening. What size box Ferrero Rocher do you recommend? And it's a very good question. I'd love to know. In terms of cost price analysis, benefit.
George, God, shout
He's going to message you some abuse.
No, seriously, like, shout out to George. He's I think me and him started the first week to get like last May together, and he's kind of like, with me and him have sort of bounced with each other throughout the whole journey. So yeah, he's been a good sort of support for me. But yeah, to answer that question, it's I think it was a standard size of 6.
There you go, George, mate. George needs to have the game. But yeah, no, I agree. George, I think, did join very similar time, and I've got absolutely no doubt that he's going to be on Smasher Sessions very soon. He's like a gnat's off, and he's just got back in stock. What's the price you're currently selling at? What are your competitors selling at? That's a good question.
So at the moment, that is a very good question. So at the moment, I'm selling for £35, for £34.99. And I guess my niche is very sort of, it fluctuates a lot. I see a lot of my competitors like bringing their prices down drastically and increasing it. But there's a range in my niche, I guess, from £20 to £40, with the majority being between 20 and 26. And I always knew, and this is again what I always advise people to do, is always try and position your product as a premium product, and that's through a box start, the actual product itself, because you always want to have that sort of margin. And yeah, it's I was scared at the very initial stages. I thought, will people pay that price? But it's definitely worked. So yeah, people are paying it now. So I don't know if I will increase it.
The £40 one, is that is there any reason for that, or is it just they've got rank position?
I think it's rank. I think it's ranked, and I think it's just brand. I think, well, their brand isn't that great, but it's the fact that they've got about 3,000 plus reviews, so they can do what they want. I think they own the niche, so anyone will pay anything for it. So, and I bought that product, by the way. It's like stressful. So
is it? You'll be chipping away at that. I've got no doubt you can probably get to that level.
So that's £40. So again, I might toy with the idea of trying to compete with them in the future and just increase it slowly. But at the moment, £35 a good place for me to play.
Definitely, and you're profitable at that, so it's all good. Yeah. Okay, last question, which is another good one. Do you see yourself expanding a range of products within your niche in the future, or planning to move to a new niche? We've spoken a lot about this, haven't we? So yeah, let's chat about that.
Yeah. So good question, and so for me, this was never about, I never wanted to come onto Amazon and launch products. Like, it wasn't a case of me just launching something I wasn't interested in. Some people are doing that and they're having amazing success and crack on. But for me, I always wanted to go down the route of launching a brand and building products under that brand. And thankfully, the ideas I have and the products I do want to launch under the brand are showing demand through Helium 10, and there is definitely scope for me to sort of scale, and soon I will be trying to launch a second product. Whether it will be doing what I did again in terms of sort of buying loads of my competitors and redesigning it to do my own, I don't know yet. But there's definitely a gap in the market for the ideas I have. So and I think the whole process now will be a lot easier. I think the barrier to entry would be a lot easier. I think when you've got an established brand, it's just,
and you've got the mindset has probably changed now. You're like, I can't do this. I have done it, and I'll do it again. So you've done. I hope you guys watching this have enjoyed it. I, have to say, Taylor, massive well done. You've absolutely smashed it. Because I remember when you first gave the niche to me, and I said, it's quite saturated. You're going to have to kind of, think outside the box here. And you've done it. You did it on the design. You did it with the supply relationship. You've done it with the customer, the branding. Like, you've basically just executed everything incredibly well. So big round of applause. And you got your 10K. Do you have your 10K award?
I forgot. Wait, it's
oh, don't worry, it's fine. No, it's all good. It's all good. I've got pictures of it anyway. That's all good. Yeah. But yeah, Thailand got the 10K Club Award, and there's no doubt in my mind that he'll be getting the 100K one very, very soon. You're probably going to run out of stock soon, and then you've got your next batch. So, I think it's the writing's on the wall with that one, with you and your success as an entrepreneur, as a e-commerce god, so to speak. And guys, I say this, every time we interview somebody on the Smasher Sessions, every one of you guys here have got the exact same tools and support that Thailand had or has. You are all more than capable of doing this. You just need to believe in yourself, keep that positive mindset. So Thailand, before we kind of head off, is there any final words of wisdom, anything you want to kind of summarize or say, or, to keep the guys' motivation?
God, I don't want to make it cliche. Don't give up. No, I kind of want to touch on what I said before about being too over analytical with things, and the whole point is don't be. If you're going to, put your own spin on things and use your creativity, you need to rely on your own intuition and remember that helium-10 data, they're just numbers at the end of the day. And yes, you should use that as a foundation, a platform to build off. But that's all it's going to do for you. That everyone else is doing that. So I said before, it has a ceiling. Use your creativity, try and think outside the box, and then that all becomes relevant. So not irrelevant, but you care less about that and more about your own sort of vision, your own brand. So take it from me.
Yeah, I think it's great.
So, crack on.
Crack
on. Good luck to everyone. And I'm always here to help people.
Don't let everything, don't kind of view the course and all these numbers as prescriptive. Use it as guidance. That's exactly what Thailand's done. He's done an awesome job. Thank you everyone for joining. We've gone massively over time, but I'm sure you'd agree it's been completely worth it. And if you have any more questions, post them in the comment box, put them on the group. Thailand will be more than happy to answer. And that is it for this month's sessions, guys. It's been a pleasure as always. Have a good week. Keep me posted on your progress in the Amazon FBA world, and we'll see you next time. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys.